What's up, guys? I'm gonna make a video today on the Jeep. It's been a while. I keep saying that because it keeps on being a while between videos. Don't really have an excuse except that I'm real lazy, but the weather's beautiful. I should be taking the top off and driving around, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do a quick install. I hope it's quick. We'll see. It should be. I will first be cleaning out the inside a little bit, vacuuming out all these leaves, and then I'm going to be installing this very cheap subwoofer that I got. I got this, I actually found it in my garage. I forgot I had it. I bought it years ago it was on clearance somewhere, I don't even know where, for probably like 15 bucks. It's just a little powered subwoofer. The reviews on them for the price is really not bad. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to put my rear seat back in for a good while. I'm still debating mounting a standard seat on one side. And of course I took out my trunk. And I'm going to mount this over here somewhere up against the side. I may make some storage compartments here. Not sure, but it's just me and my wife. We don't have any kids. We do have some dogs, small dogs. So as long as I got a little place for them to run around. I'm going to put that subwoofer in there for a little more volume and a little more sound coming out of the stereo, and we'll see how that works. So you can see, you might be able to see my tuner. I have a very cheap Marine tuner. It's a dual brand, and then of course this is powered, so it's not that big a deal. Should be a pretty quick video unless I just start randomly talking. This is my truck also. I keep it at the lake. Y'all probably heard me talk about it. It's disgusting right now. It needs to be cleaned. But comment if y'all would want to see me do things to it too. Like I've built the Jeep a little bit. If I built it, I'm thinking of putting some better headlights in. Maybe some 285. I think those were 245. 285 mud terrain tires with some decent rims. Maybe some towing mirrors. Maybe taking this body cladding off and getting that nice and smooth. Not sure. It's a good truck, 150,000 miles, runs strong. The dash is not cracked, which is amazing. It's just a good solid truck. Maybe put an exhaust on it. I don't know. Just if that's something y'all would like to see, then let me know. But for right now, let's get this speaker in the Jeep. Since this is a powered subwoofer, all I need is one of these amp wiring kits. This comes with a battery cable, 16-foot battery lead, and the RCAs to hook to the back of the stereo, and that should be all we need. So I should be able to run the battery cable back to here, ground it. It does have a ground cable, and then of course the inputs, and that'll just be the volume on when I get it all hooked up. Here's the grounding cable, by the way. I got the switch panel out of my old Sahara that I scrapped. It's very similar to this one, except it also has hookups for a hard top, for a windshield washer and a defroster on a hard top, and of course it's got this same switch for the fog lamps, which I do not have. So I'm gonna mount that in there instead of this one that someone's cobbled together, some switches. I've got to take all that off anyway to get to the back of the stereo. And then this is the steering wheel off of my old Jeep. You can see it's in not the best shape, but it's in a whole lot better shape than that steering wheel. You can see the stitching's fine. It's got a little bit of mold there I need to get off, but it's fine. I'll show you what the old one looks like. You can't see because of my cover, but you can see the old one is torn completely, and that's frustrating. I really actually don't even like that Jeep cover. A lot of people have that cover, but I don't even really like it. So I prefer to be able to take that off and just have a normal steering wheel, which I will when I put that steering wheel on. Guys, I admittedly know very little about car audio. I drive a Jeep, for goodness sake, so it's not that important to me. This should be fairly simple. Like I said, you got your battery wire, a remote turn on wire, which will come out of the back of the stereo. They provide another ground cable, but I have one that came with the speaker, and then the RCAs that go to the back of the receiver as well. Wire that up, hide all the wires under the carpet, and that should be, cross the fingers, should be it. Guys, getting this centerpiece off is very simple. There's a bolt right here behind the ashtray. And then from there, it just pops out. You just pop off each side and it just pops loose. It shouldn't just pop loose, but mine does because I've broken it. You can see the two other bolt screws. Typically what you would have to do is take this piece up, which it really does just pop out of there, and then get to these two screws. Those two screws, the screw that holds in the tray right here, and I believe that's it, if I recall correctly. The rest of it is clips. Two clips in the bottom, and then this little piece right here that fits in up there as well. And that's it. I do have another one of those from my old Jeep, and I may go ahead and reinstall it, that one, because it's already broke, and I'll just wait till I completely break it. But generally, you got the 1, 2, 3 bolts, and it just pops right off. You can see the spots for the other clips. I need to take these two screws out to get to the radio. The radio will sometimes have a screw underneath it. I don't believe this one does. It's pretty loose. I don't think I forget who installed this, but whoever did, you know, just kind of threw it in there. And then I should be able to get to the back of the radio. That plastic piece on the front will only be there if you have aftermarket. If you have your stock radio in there, it'll fill up the whole gap. That's the adapter for an aftermarket radio. You can see the RCA plugs back here, labeled sub, red and white, left channel, right channel. Here's the remote in, where you plug it in. And then this is where I unplugged my antenna to be able to pull the radio all the way out. Those were 10mm screws. They could be different in yours than what this one had in it, because those are obviously not stock screws. I'm gonna go ahead and take the glove box out to get it out of the way, so I can run the RCA cable up and around and under and back around. All you got to do, if you've never taken this off, is there's a little strap here that's hooked onto a hook. Unhook it. Hey, on my 97, this has a loop in the end of it, and it slides onto a hook. In this one, it has a grommet and it's held on with a screw. This should just lift out, push all the way down. I got some nail there that's kind of in the way, and then it should just come right out. Now you can see how I'll run the wire up through there. It'll come out right here and plug in. It'll go down through there, on down, behind here, underneath, and back to the back, and be hidden. It's just an RCA cable. It doesn't carry any juice. Don't have to really worry about it. You don't want to rub holes in it or have it ground out, but it doesn't really have to be secured all that well. However you choose to secure it, I'll probably just have it laying there in the floor, going all the way back. You can see I hooked white to white and black to red. Colors don't matter as long as the same colors you hook up here are the same colors as in the back. You can hook up white to red and red to white as long as in the speaker itself you hook that up, because you're still just carrying a signal and these two wires are identical. All right, one thing I had to check before I put everything in, you see I've just got it kind of mocked up, is the remote wire. That plug on the back of this radio I showed for the remote, that's not for the remote, that's for steering wheel controls. The remote actually comes out of the wiring harness on this blue wire. So I hooked the remote into that, and you can see the radio's off, ignition off. If I turn the radio on, ignition on, radio on, amplifier on. Radio off, ignition off, amplifier off. For those that don't know, like I said, I'm not a car audio expert, but the reason you have the remote wire is that way it doesn't stay on and drain your battery through this. It'll only pull any voltage from this wire as long if that remote has power. One thing to remember, this is a rookie mistake that people make. Don't run the power wire back here and next to the RCAs. You'll get feedback sometimes, you know, like you'll hear a hum in your speakers from engine noise, whether it's RPMs or whatever, humming going up and down. They should be 6 inches, 8 inches apart minimum. They prefer you run them on either side of the vehicle. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to split them up, probably run them on both sides of the seat. Okay guys, I lied. I did wind up running RCA cables on this side and power on that side. We'll hook those up. I will ground it somewhere better than the tailgate. I'll ground it over here, screw it into this tub over here, and then we'll try to put everything back together and see if it works. Actually, I'll probably see if it works before I put everything back together, but you get the idea. All right, I'm gonna replace this switch panel. It's just screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here. Just like that, simple plug. And this is a wired switch that was wired separately. So I'm just gonna unplug those and leave those there for now. This was for some auxiliary lights that whoever had this Jeep before me had. All right, the cigarette lighter is different between this one, which is the one that I just now took out, and the other one. So instead of trying to take that cigarette lighter out, which is kind of difficult, I decided just to take the switches out of the old one and put in, or out of the 97 model and put in this one. So now this one just has all the switches. And now I'll just put that back in. But let's see if the radio comes on, because I do have it basically put back in. Radio comes on. Amp not on. But here's why. At least I hope why. I took the fuse out of this little fuse, inline fuse, because you should always do that when you're working on a power wire. I gotta clean all that up, guys. That is not the final product. No power. Why would that be? Power wires ran and connected. Ground is ground. It's either got to be power or the remote. Probably the remote. The radio is not actually on, so let's turn the radio on. And power to the amp. That means the remote's working perfectly. Alright, so that's in there. Let's see what happens. My phone's about to die, but let's plug it in and play some music. Alright, sound's coming out of the front speakers. Guess I should turn up the sound on my phone. Wow. Okay. Wow. Rear speakers are working. Front ones are working. The fronts need to be replaced. Wow. That is impressive, actually. Turn that down. I think I'm going to be very happy with this. Alright, that's where it's going. It sounds freaking amazing. As you can see, my next project also will be a PA speaker. But I'm going to close the back of the Jeep, close the doors, and turn it on and see what it sounds like. Alright. We'll play the same song. I have no idea what the sound is going to come out like with this being the GoPro with no mic. So the GoPro sound audio sucks. You can't really tell what's going on, but I did have to remove this part of the video because of a copyright strike for playing 30 seconds of a song over a 15-minute video apparently. So instead of reshooting it and with the bad sound quality of the GoPro, let's just say that the speakers works great. That little bitty cheap powered subwoofer is perfect for the Jeep. It actually has a little too much sound for the small Jeep cabin, but I'm very pleased with it. And this is obviously very easy to install. So the video only has another minute or so left, so just keep on watching and the sound will come back here in a second when I start talking on the video. Alright guys, that's a complete success. It's dark out here, getting dark, so you can't really see, but everything's cleaned up. Let me turn on the overhead light. Everything's cleaned up. Wiring back here is clean. I need to get that last little bit of power wire up under the up under there, and that is where it will be. First project on the Jeep in a long time. I'll do some really quick projects coming up soon. I'm going to do the PA speaker for my CB. There's a lot more coming on the Jeep, suspension wise and performance wise, but that was a very easy little install that is going to work out well. I'll give you an update on how it does riding down the road. I think it's going to be great. So guys, if you liked the video, or if you enjoyed watching it, please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm now at over 100 subscribers. My goal is to be over 1,000 by the end of the year, and to put some more interesting stuff on here that people might want to see. So guys, thanks for watching and have a great day. See y'all.